Well, exactly what I told you would happen. And there is, Alban Bagbin at the say the American say Alban Bagbin needs to be on the safer side, no. That is what exactly has happened. Into Alban Bagbin adjourn Parliament Sunday. And I seen it dear. Send a yo mokano no me yana mekane Sunday. Ni ka Sunday. Naturally say indefinitely. Ati asenti Alban Bagbin adjourn Parliament indefinitely. Into no we no say ya adjourn Parliament indefinitely. Etre say obetumi afre Parliament after time ye beto aba. Into no umpe we MPP for na ebe ha omo. Na metro de ntia make say ebe ha MPP for. But na MPP for munim the ABC Metro the Inter say no munim the ABC and why they took a certain action. Now, into that's the story. I'll say the Speaker of Parliament Alban Bagbin during proceedings on Tuesday, October 22nd, 2024, suspended Parliament indefinitely. Speaker Bagbin, before suspending the proceedings of Parliament, indicated that even though the House had the numbers to form a quorum for a meeting, it did not have the numbers to make decisions per the standing orders of the House. The House did not have the numbers for decision making because New Patriotic Party members of Parliament had boycotted the sitting over the brouhaha on which political party should form the majority caucus. Or say the Speaker mentioned the directive by the Supreme Court asking him to stay his declaration of 4 seats in the House vacant, which has made MPs of the National Democratic Congress the majority caucus. So yesterday, I received the process from the Supreme Court, which is a ruling from the Supreme Court pursuant to an ex parte application directing Parliament to recognize and allow the 4 affected members of Parliament to duly represent their constituents and conduct the full scope of duties of their offices as members of Parliament pending the final determination of a suit filed by Honorable Alexander Afenyo-Markin. By Article 102 of the Constitution 1992 and Order 64, one of the standing orders of Parliament, I note that we currently have a forum to transact business, but not to take decisions. The numbers definitely are far above 1/3 of the members of Parliament, but by Article 104, the numbers are not sufficient for us to take decisions, he said. Bagbin did not indicate whether he was going to adhere to the order of the court and went on to adjourn the House indefinitely. As the honorable members, we don't have at least half of all the members of Parliament present. Consequently, in view of the current circumstances, the fact that there is a question on the composition and constitution of Parliament and having regard to the public interest and exigencies of the state of affairs in Parliament, I'll proceed to, in accordance with Standing Orders 59, adjourn the House indefinitely. That is Sunday, and as in it as the Supreme Court of Ghana, blah blah blah. Intino utie Alban Bagbin Sani Americano. This is I'm not going to lie. This is the best response or best decision Alban Bagbin could have taken, because yes, it's a trap. Alban Bagbin. Now, Alban Bagbin declare ye say Supreme Court ontie omon semwa. Nanka idea there will be that question. One, say Alban Bagbin has disrespected Supreme Court, and then 2, a best set precedence at home, and then 2, it will also mean that Alban Bagbin might be cited for contempt, which would be very, very nasty. It would have been very, very nasty. It is that decision where Alban Bagbin take akwa say watene ababeto MPP for so, because MPP for call Parliament no awo muko hu say NDC for atena majority side no na omone Afenyo-Markin pie ya wo muka say enya de a wo mbeye adwuma wo Parliament ho krabium. Nti omo pie ye e ka say wo mo twen say Alban Bagbin ba no mo aba back, but probably they knew say Alban Bagbin ba or ba be ma obe adjourn indefinitely, and so they didn't want to wait to receive enimguasie, and so embra Alban Bagbin ba ye no kra no, they were still not in Parliament. The MPP was still not in Parliament. Inti Alban Bagbin ba ye no, ena obabe declare say, well, Parliament emra say ye hia a specific number be ansa na yetumi ayedwuma wa ha. Na yehwe MPP fo no ni ha, NDC fo no so pe na egu ha, number ne nso. Inti me adjourn Parliament indefinitely. Inti wambo Supreme Court asem ne kra so. na nkwa yes Supreme Court for aka say Alban Bagbin na disrespect it. Wambo Supreme Court asem so. And I think say it is the best action from Alban Bagbin. You see, waka say was suspended parliament indefinitely. Supreme Court saying to me, man, betraying say free parliament, my parliament imbra, to me ntre. He has suspended it indefinitely. Time I will no pay, and I will be free parliament. Into your power, obe to me a free parliament after December 7th. Until as long as Supreme Court, it goes back to the Supreme Court. Until you say Supreme Court be the case in term one. The Supreme Court to me the case in term there. Alban Bagbin to me jina so no akaso ke free parliament. So as long as Supreme Court omonso person be the case no, then Alban Bagbin can still say. Until what will happen is maybe by next month and next 2 weeks no, MPP4 many worry said the MPP MPs will start complaining. And Alban Bagbin free parliament on free parliament. But no crano, MPP phone be break crano, and no crano, it will not help them. Why? Because most of them will be seriously campaigning. It is Alban Bagbin free parliament crana. Omunya yombe complaining, to me complaining. And so I think say Alban Bagbin has turned everything back to the MPP. And omo ananka wo mo twen, say nanka Alban Bagbin beka say dabi on penny, nanka omo aba beka say NDC for the say kan yomo ye tuturasem, and then wo mu nansem akomonum. And there will be some community indirectly. No, Alban Bagbin at Supreme Court say mini majuma, majuma, and then he has turned it back on them. Now the entire maker say MPP4 and ebe home crane say there are serious government businesses via MPP per se your parliament and saying until Alban Bagbin has suspended parliament indefinitely. No, so business name to me mbasubium. Now one of the businesses I later made this story never brown say you say achim. Some gold mine be or why year to China for 1 billion. Gold mine na year to China for no. It was a parliament approve it. It's not MPP for him. It was one of the reasons in here. Na MPP form penese NDC for better than the majority. Supreme Court here in them yes a bo asem neguno. Inti as far as parliament is not opening, that sale of the Achim gold mine no enkoso. Mama what here tax waivers been so MPP for person more pass it. Emma allegedly omangasa wamo nkrofo nanfofo bi companies no, and also as we are speaking now it is not going to go through because parliament has been suspended indefinitely until your MPP for ankasa and adibe homo. And so I like how Alban Bagbin and the MPP the NDC, they've really thought about this, and Alban Bagbin has brought this answer. Min kandada, this is the best. Intana me better na haka say I feel say that should be the inti sisi no more ka say ti Alban Bagbin na say ni no. They can't now come out to speak say Alban Bagbin has disrespected Supreme Court. They can't say that. One boss umpo, he didn't even talk about it. No aka say mintie Supreme Court for nsem dabi. One campo on acknowledge impo, but or no there what the parliament em na ejuma. Now in desperation, I think say once we see that the MPP are taking further actions to go to Supreme Court to force Alban Bagbin to reopen Parliament, and no nebeye obiabe hunu said that be too extreme, but it's not something you take away from these MPP people, because utumi hunu say at this point they are now very desperate and they can do everything. Okay, into omubenya kombe juana ko Supreme Court aka the Supreme Court say kona ko sha Alban Bagbin say on be a parliament ombra pa then or suspend the parliament indefinitely, and no the moon to me into no sisi no send yet no. This is the best decision ever that Alban Bagbin could have taken, and I think say it is right, it is okay. Every single person into the real winners in this case is the NDC. The real winners in this case, and the real losers in this case is the MPP. And they knew that is why they didn't come back. Ati no munim. Ti enda oko social media MPP phone na ayeko omuntu minkasa, because omun who say Alban Bagbin nanka yenye nanka Alban Bagbin onkoto asemu oto asemu a nanka ye de no aya asem ma Alban Bagbin ruling na ode abeyi ono so adwen hu emende wanto asemu nti akwa say ebu akim atamfo asset trap ama pan and the trap na akwa bu akim. Nti for me no, I think say that is good. It is well. The winner Alban Bagbin the Alban no. Nti obi say that is all. Case die. Obi say Bagbin wants trouble. Obi say Speaker Bagbin, this is a very, very good move. Now the Chief Justice Women's Organizer of the NPP can go to hell. Ha 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 ha. I laugh enter my kitchen. I say, I am all in for the suspension of Parliament. My question is, are the parliamentarians going to be paid during this suspension, since they will be as useless as they were when they did what they called work in behalf of their constituent? Okay, I see, even in the countries we claim to model our democracy after, when MPs in the majority party leave the party, the numbers determine who is in the majority. That is that. A lot of people praising Alban Bagbin over that, and I think that this is the best decision ever. Montreal when boom brebia so no I disrespected Supreme Court on your Montreal comment box nemo.